What is going on, guys? My name is Liam T. Welcome back to the channel, where in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I turn plastic resin like this stuff into a fully finished ray gun like this. Let's get into it. Well, what I said wasn't completely accurate. I'm not going to be showing the entire process in this video because I'm actually going to be breaking it down into two separate videos. So for this first video, I'm just going to be talking about the casting process and how I get this ready to be painted. All of the next video is going to be about the painting process and then just all the other little bits to completely finish it off so it's ready to be sent. So this is it. Hopefully you learned something new. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like rating down below. It helps out massively. And if you have any questions about anything that you see in the video, just drop them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Without further ado, this is step one. So most of the parts that you're going to see in this video are going to be cast from a 2-part silicone mold. Also, most of the parts in this are going to be cast from a polyurethane casting resin called SG2000 Fast Cast. A 2-part silicone mold is basically where you have 2 big lumps of silicone and each one is a negative of each side of whatever you want to cast. I'm going to put these two together and then use this fiberglass jacket I made just to clamp them in place and make sure there's no distortions in the casting. For molds that have a fiberglass jacket, I usually use bolts and wing nuts to hold them together because I find that it has a really secure hold. And then once they're together, I can now start mixing up my polyurethane resin in a 1:1 ratio. It's important to make sure that it's mixed really thoroughly, otherwise you can get patches in the casting that aren't actually cured properly. Now if I go and fill the mold all the way up with resin, then the cast that comes out of it would be completely solid. And that's a bit of a waste of resin, so what I like to do is fill it about halfway and then I slush that resin around the mold until it cures. And what this does is it makes the cast that comes out of the resin hollow because the resin's cured on the walls of the mold and it hasn't actually stopped anywhere in the middle. And it's more or less the same process for all of the molds, so I just put the two halves together, fill it up with resin and then wait for it to cure. So I'll let you watch that now. I've had these castings to one side for about an hour now, which means it's time to demold them. And I find this the most exciting part of the process because it's almost like opening presents on your birthday or Christmas or something, because you really don't know what's going to be inside it. It's really easy to make a mistake while you're casting these and you don't know if you're going to have a perfect casting or one with a bunch of air bubbles that you can't even use. So now you get to live through the magic moment with me as I open these castings. Here we go, it's a live unboxing, guys, here we go. All of the parts have been cast now, but they still need to be cleaned up a bit before they can be painted. So to do that, I'm going to be using the stuff called car body filler, which is basically just this paste that you spread over any cracks and imperfections that you want to fill in, and then after about 10 minutes that'll go nice and hard and you can sand it smooth. This stuff can be a bit awkward to work with because it cures very quickly, and once it starts to go hard you can't use it anymore, you have to mix up another batch. But it is also fairly inexpensive, so it's not too much of a loss. Oh yeah, and don't be an idiot like me. Make sure you're wearing a face mask when you're sanding anything like this, because it really is terrible for your chest. It can cause a whole bunch of health problems, so don't risk it. Get yourself a little face mask. Sometimes I find that there's awkward angles that I can't get my sandpaper into by hand, or I'll also need to take off a lot of material, which would take a while by hand, so I use this electric sanding tool. There are some other smaller parts which I haven't showed me cleaning up at all, because it's basically just an hour of me sat there with some small needle files. But don't worry, you're not missing very much. Now that all of the parts have been cleaned up, it's time to hit them with some paint. But first I'm just going to mask off the barrel of the ray gun because I want that to stay blue. I don't want to get any paint on it. Here's a fun fact. The barrel on this ray gun is actually the first one that I've actually managed to get a nice translucent blue colour. I have tried before, but those attempts have been somewhat unsuccessful. But I'm really pleased with the way this one came out. Before I go in with some nice bright colours, I like to use a grey base coat. I find this gives the final paint job a nice uniform look. And this is where I'm at as of now. I'm probably going to do a little bit more sanding on these just to make sure they're totally perfect, but this is more or less where we're going to be picking up in the next video. Okay, so that was it. That was part 1. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, maybe consider subscribing, because I'll be wrapping all of this up at some point in the next few weeks with part 2, and you might not want to miss that, so subscribe to keep up to date with that. Another thing I want to add on here is that I'm going to be selling the wavegun posters that I was doing a while ago. I designed these when I originally started the wavegun project, so if you want to get your hands on one of those, go to the link in the description, and yeah, I think that's it. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.